To all of our subscribers, welcome back. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, consider hitting that subscribe button below. Support our channel. Today we have some news fresh off the press, y'all.
What are we talking about?
Wait, I get to do it this time?
Yeah, go
Whoa,
ahead.
ask me again. Ask me again. I'm ready now.
What are we talking about?
Johnny Depp and his former ex-wife defamation trial, Amber Heard. Let's get into it.
Don't talk about it like you're crazy. You know damn well I can't replace you. Just say what you mean. Don't waste your time.
I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. You're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
How are you?
What am I supposed to do? Do this? I'm not sitting here.
Oh my gosh. You guys, there's a recording of her. She's over here saying, I did not punch you. I did not punch you. I hit you. I did not hurt you. I did this.
I'm sorry, I didn't hit you with a proper slap.
That is, it's not funny, but she's literally admitting to assaulting him, but she's trying to downplay it. Like, I didn't hit you. That didn't hurt. So, already, this looks bad for Amber Heard. I'm just going to say. You shouldn't be putting your hands on nobody. Okay? We'll continue.
About it, am I? You are. That's the difference between me and you. You're a baby.
I was looking directly at my bones sticking out. She threw the large bottle and it made contact and shattered everywhere. And then I looked down and realized that the tip of my finger had been severed. I knew in my heart, this is not life. My side of the bed.
That's crazy. So he's sitting here saying how she threw a wine bottle at him and it shattered, and he saw the bone in his finger. And at that moment, he knew this is not what life is supposed to be. It's not what marriage is supposed to be like. And I can feel for him. If someone's acting that violent verbally and physically, and they physically injure you, that has to hurt. That definitely has to have an effect on him. And he realized right then and there, like, hey, this isn't a good environment, not a good healthy relationship.
I think he said this is not love. At least for me, that's not love.
Right. So it's already sounding very toxic, as a lot of people like to say. It sounds toxic.
Was human fecal matter, and she tried to blame it on the dogs. Sorry, I could not agree with her. I'd lived with those dogs. I picked up their fun. It was not the dogs. There's a need for
See? Accountability. She couldn't even tell him that it was her. She blamed it on the dogs. How funny is that? No, it wasn't me. It was the dogs. This woman,
oh my gosh, so you're saying that she took a dump on this man's bed and blamed it on the dogs? And we saw a little picture of the they look like little Yorkies or something. Yeah. I think you can tell the difference between a tiny little 6-pound, 10-pound dog maybe versus a full-grown human being.
Versus a 6-inch sub sitting on the bed.
That hold on. How do you even process that? Somebody taking a dump on your bed, and then you come in. Hold on. That is so disrespectful and so nasty. Was that like a message? Like she was on there on the bed, like, this is how I feel about you, Johnny. Depp. Yeah. Wait till you see this. Like, what's going through your mind?
And then he walks in, he's like, yo, the dog's been in here today?
Oh my gosh.
Where the dogs at?
I just can't imagine. You guys just think about that for a second. Comment below. Has that ever happened to you before? That has never happened to me before. I never even heard of anything like that happening. That is crazy.
That's an animal.
Oh,
Woman's
wow.
an animal.
Who does that? Who does that? That's what I want to know. I hope. He says that this is what happened allegedly. I hope.
No, he had pictures.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He had
the pictures of that.
The maid sent him the picture. He was on his way. Yeah, she left. What happened was she was headed out to go to Coachella after they got into their fight or whatever the night before. He ended up leaving. So what happened was she ended up going to Coachella with her friends, and he was going to go home to get some of his things, some things that mattered to him, some things that were precious from the home. And he went back. Well, actually, he didn't go back, but the maid told him, hey, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you should come. And she sent him the picture. And he said that when he saw it, he kind of laughed. Like, what?
He was like, what's this?
How do you react to that? I would probably laugh too. Like, what? So he didn't end up going back. But that is just so bizarre. I don't even know.
That's crazy. It's disgusting.
How to feel about that.
It's disgusting.
Well,
All right, y'all, we're going to get back into it.
There's a need for violence. It erupts out of nowhere, and Miss Heard could very easily drink 2 bottles of wine per night. Well, not a problem. Throwing a TV remote at my head, tell me what a bad father I was, and that I had no idea how to parent. It's to slice you up. It's to bring you down. It's to demean you.
He said a lot in that clip just now, how she down talks him, tells him he's a bad father. Just hurtful things meant to cut him deep.
You know, maybe she was trying to get a reaction out of him, because it sounded like she was doing all these things and she needed evidence or something to gather to make him look crazy, and he wasn't. So she kept poking at him. So that's, to me, it was a cry for attention that she wasn't getting a response. So then she went to the next thing. Well, since you won't come at me crazy, I'll start talking about you as far as your parenting, to emotionally hurt you. That's what she wanted out of him, an emotional response now. I want him to feel miserable.
Saying things like that is very hurtful. You have to be careful with your words and how you talk to people, because you don't know how they're going to react to it. She threatened to unlive herself. Whenever he would threaten to leave her, she would kind of get emotional and hold on to him, and he wouldn't leave. And they did ask him a lot of questions about their relationship, and it just sounds very, very toxic. And he also mentioned that she had a need for violence. She would throw remotes at his head. He said it was nothing for her to just throw things at him, as we saw with his finger injury. So I just really feel for him. And then making comments about him as a father. My understanding is they don't have any kids together. So for you to be commenting on the way somebody parents their children, I don't feel like that's really her place. And from the testimony in the trial that Johnny Depp gave, he loves his kids. He takes that so serious because of how he grew up in an unstable home and with unhappy parents. There was abuse or dysfunctionality going on in his home, and he didn't like that. So he said himself, he decided as a parent he would do the opposite of what his parents would do. He would take the time to talk to his kids, to allow them to understand the consequences or the repercussions of their actions, instead of just shouting and yelling at them. So we see that that's already not his personality trait. According to everyone else's testimony, friends, family, members, even his kids, they all said he's kind, he's soft-spoken, he's docile, kind of shy. And in his testimony, he also said that when the arguments got too big or too much for him, he would just go away. He would just try to lock himself in a room, play his guitar. Even sometimes he'd lock himself in the bathroom and sit on the floor.
Right.
This is a 58-year-old man we're talking about.
And she would bang on the door and tell him stop running away from dealing with the problem, and he just wants to avoid it.
It's like she's almost bullying him. From his perspective, this is his testimony, so it does sound like he is in fact the victim and not her. And so far, all I've heard her say, it wasn't about any abuse. It's just trying to call him out for his substance abuse and say he does drugs. And there's a video of him slamming cabinets. But he never put his hands on her. He was like 10 feet away from her, and she's just recording him. Hold on. You guys, tell me how you feel about people that just sit there and record you in your worst moments. Just think about that. Comment down below. Bobby, tell me what you think about that.
Well,
how would you feel about that?
you know it's a setup when someone is like provoking you to respond a certain way, and then the camera just kind of pops up and they catch your reaction, but the entire setup to it is missing. That's a clear indication of someone trying to, like what am I trying to say?
Manipulate the situation and just make you look bad, make you look crazy. You guys be aware of people like that, because they will set you up. And then she hid the camera from him so he didn't know. He was having a moment. Mind you, in that particular clip, we're going to have to put this clip up of him slamming the cabinet. In that clip, he had recently found out that his mother passed away, right? So she's just sitting there acting like nothing happened. Like, what's wrong? We didn't get into a fight. I just told you I'm sorry.
And his mother passed away 3 days before she filed for divorce. So I believe it was like May 20th. And then on the 23rd, the divorce was filed and she asked for spousal support. And then on the 25th, his lawyer responded for him and basically denied the spousal support. And then on the 27th, 2 days after that, it turned into, he abused me. And they gave her like a temporary restraining order against him. And after investigating, she did present pictures of supposedly like a bruise to her face and like damage to the property, the apartment they share, which they removed him. They told him he couldn't be within 100 yards. So she had sole use of the house. So if she felt so threatened, why are you still in a house where he knows where you are? Shouldn't you have left him in the home and then you went somewhere else where he couldn't find you if you really felt like you were threatened? And then when the police came out and did an investigation of this domestic violence, they didn't find anything. There was nothing there for them to link him to doing any type of abuse to her. So it just sounded made up to me that she was going after spousal support. She was angry about it, which I'm wondering if all these actions of, what she did on the bed may have happened after she basically walked out of the house angry and burned her house down. She was mad. She wanted to just take everything from him. Y'all know that scene that's in, what is that, Waiting to Exhale with Angela Bassett? And she's angry at her husband and she like sets the car on fire. That's kind of like what she did.
That infamous scene of her throwing all of his belongings into that car and setting it on fire. And that's exactly what
she
Amber Heard just did. She just blew up her whole house. She said, you know what? We're going to get a divorce. You want to divorce me after your mom passed away and you want to come to this big old conclusion, or you want to have this epiphany that you want to live life and be happy without me? Oh, no. Oh, no, 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 no. If I can't have you, nobody can. If I can't have you, you ain't going to have nothing after I get done with you. And after 15 months, not 15 years, she gets $7 million
that she donated.
Because he supposedly abused her. But however, there was never any evidence when the police arrived, and she never filed a report. Her excuse is that she was too shaken and frightened to
file this report.
Yeah, so I don't know about that. I do know of women who have been in real serious abusive relationships and how they act and how it affects them. And it really does not seem like that is the case with Amber Heard. We haven't heard her side of the story yet, so I'm just speculating right now. I don't know the full story, but based on the information that we have now and all the articles and in these clips, it is looking really, really bad for her. And let's be honest, she really did single-handedly destroy his career. Disney let go of him. He was the face of Pirates of the Caribbean, and they let him go based on this pending investigation. How messed up is that?
I think at one point he was reaching out to Warner Brothers to remove her from the projects that she was on way back when they were having their issues, and the response from Hollywood was, we have to do what's best for the movie.
Right, but no one said that about him. I don't think that's fair. Why immediately cancel him when there's no evidence, there's no proof, there's no police report? No, nothing, and he has to suffer these consequences for it. So I definitely understand why, even though the divorce is over and everything, he's coming back and he's suing her for defamation of character, which I understand. I completely understand because she messed up his career.
But we're not even talking about the abuse. I think some criminal charges should be filed against this woman. If this was reversed, and it was a man doing these actions, throwing a bottle at a woman and banging on doors and throwing remotes at her, and even if the case is found in one or another favor, the state will pick up the charges against the guy, right? They'll ask, hey, do you want to press charges? Even if the woman says no, it's like, okay, well, we're going to press charges from the state. So I want to see if at the end of this, if someone, because he has proof, he has pictures and everything, if the state is going to pick up some type of criminal charges against this woman.
I'm a little skeptical of what she's saying because based on all of his friends, his family, even his ex-wives, his ex-girlfriend, and his children, everyone who's in his life, who've known him for 40 years or more, for a long, long period of time, they all said the same thing about him. He's quiet, he's docile, he's not a confrontational type of guy. You know, he avoids confrontation. He kind of likes to be introverted and be in peace. He likes to read and play his guitar. He's a musician. And honestly, I believe them because what 58-year-old man wants to be dealing with all this drama? They're worried about retirement and relaxing for the duration of their time. He's worked hard. He's built a hell of a career.
And pay attention that his exes have come up and said he has, he's a really sweet guy. So that means they had some amicable separations.
Mm-hmm. And he never, ever put his hands on them, never raised his voice. And that's what he said about how he raises his kids with his ex, Vanessa. They don't raise their voice to the children. They treat them fair and kindness, and they have conversations. They talk to them, not at them. So for her to make all these comments on on how he parents his children, and she literally called him a little bee.
Yeah.
She called him a little bee. So that seems very aggressive and confrontational, and so far I'm leaning on Johnny Depp's side, to be honest, because she looks like she's the perpetrator.
Aggressive.
She like she's the instigator of everything. We're definitely going to be coming out with a part 2 with her testimony, but so far that's not looking good for her.
All right, we're going to get back into the clip.
Yes.
You start to slowly realize that you are in a relationship with your mother, in a sense. Ms. Heard had spoken of suicide on a couple of occasions. Many times when I would try to leave, she would stop me at the elevator with the security guards, crying, screaming, I can't live without you. I'm gonna die.
So why did you stay with Miss Heard given this type of behavior?
I suppose because my father stayed.
That's deep.
That means he's used to this. This seems normal, and his father stayed, but now he's in a place where he's like, I've had enough. From the articles I read, he was the one that made the suggestion of divorce. He was just saying, we're just fighting all the time. This isn't healthy, you know. So I guess she did take his advice, and she went and filed for divorce, and she wanted to basically take him out, take him down, ruin his career, ruin his life because she's upset.
That is what it sounds like. And I do feel it's just horrible that anyone has to go through this, you know, because when you're in love with someone, the last thing you imagine is for things to turn out this way. And even when he mentioned how she would threaten to unlive herself when he was trying to leave before, that's just classic. That's a classic case of manipulation.
Right?
That's not fair. It's just not fair. It's emotional and mental
Abuse.
dysfunction,
It's
you know?
abuse.
It really is. So that's really sad to hear that she was doing things like that, because it's just not fair. It puts the other person like they can't move, like you're able to then control them and control the outcome of things by being so over the top that they obviously don't want you to hurt yourself. So they're going to stay to make sure you're fine and that everything's okay. And then the fact that he's saying, "Hey, I didn't leave because my dad didn't leave."
Mm. Mm.
And there was another comment he made before that. It's like dating my mom. You know, he had a pretty troubled childhood from his mom. He and his sister, they both testified to that. And it was just like his childhood, pretty much. And that's sad. And this is why I go so hard on you adults, you men and women out there watching this, because accountability is very, very important. And decisions that you make, who you allow in your life, how you raise your kids, don't just tread very carefully and think very carefully before you do anything or make any of your decisions, because it can be something that your family could be going through for the next 400 years. It could be a generational curse where your child, he grows up in an unstable, toxic environment, and then he ends up in another toxic environment. He thinks that that's okay and he accepts it. Why? Because my dad stayed for so many years and this is just what I'm used to. And that should not be the norm. That is not okay. So you guys think about that. Comment below. What do you guys think about this story and their love affair and just how basically everything just went down in flames? Johnny Depp said that in the beginning, the first year and a half of their relationship, they were so happy. She was loving. She was kind and attentive to his needs. And as soon as she got that ring, she switched up on him.
Checkmate.
And she just came into attack mode. Maybe he went to substances to cope.
He also mentioned that her behavior may have led him to using substances more.
Which is fair. If you are dealing in a toxic relationship like that, then you might not use some healthy coping mechanisms to get through that. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to just get, I'm not saying that that's okay, but it's definitely understandable. This sounds like something a human being would do. Yeah. It's normal.
And these are his words. We're not putting this is what he said.
And again, you guys, we are not trying to bash women. We just want to create awareness of what's going on, and that it's not just one story or not just one side to every story. There's two sides. And then there's the truth somewhere in the middle. Ladies, we don't act like this. We don't carry ourselves like this, okay? Being aggressive and masculine, screaming and yelling in a man's face, putting your hands on him, not okay. Not okay. All right? Don't do that.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that. It's nice of
Yeah.
you.
Hey, I'm speaking from experience, you guys. I could talk about this because I know what I'm talking about. I've been like that before. I've been very aggressive, masculine. Oh, I'm a bad bitch and all that. You guys trust me. I done been through so much, and I've been through it in my relationships. So I know what I'm talking about. Listen to me. Don't make my mistakes. Okay? Don't be like me. Be better than me. Don't be hard-headed like me, okay? Because I'm telling you, I had to go through the ropes. And you know what? I held myself accountable for all of my mistakes. And I worked on myself. And I'm still working on myself. Every day I'm a work in progress. It's okay. I'm not judging you guys. Don't even judge yourself. Just take the pain, take the lessons, whatever you got to go through, and move on. Don't give up on life. Don't give up on love. Don't give up on happiness. Don't give up on anything. Just stay positive and stay true to who you are in your core. Okay? It's all right if you're not perfect. It's all right if you made mistakes, but learn from them. Take accountability and just see how much of a stronger person you're going to be for it. That's all I'm saying, you guys.
I know I've made a bunch of mistakes growing up.
We all have.
I've grown. I've definitely grown.
And people say, oh, don't judge. It's not good to judge. But honestly, you have to judge. You have to be a good judge of character. You need to decide what type of friends you want around you, what type of influences you want to have. You have to be careful about that. What messages people are sending you. You have to be very mindful and aware of that, what you're letting into yourself. Okay?
Well, thank y'all for tuning in. As we know more, we will keep you guys up to date on it. And as we say any other time, until next time,
peace.
We got places we can go to figure out what we've done, what we need to do. Yeah, I got you, I got you, I got you. Don't play me, 'cause you're pushing me away. Don't say to me that we'll talk